Welcome to MMN. We have a lot to cover this week, from Wizards of the Coast giving out free packs of cards on MTGA, Week 5 of the MPL, MagicFest Kansas City, the new London Mulligan rule, and much more. As always, there will be discussion timestamps in the description box along with links for more information on each topic. Possibly the best story of the week, MTG Arena hit 1 billion games played. Wizards of the Coast is so happy about it that they're giving everyone a free pack of cards. Use promo code OneBillion to redeem your free pack. Now on to meta coverage. MagicFest Kansas City 2019 was held this week, and despite the lack of coverage for the event, the top 8 deck list provided players with 8 unique archetypes ranging in a variety of different color combinations. However, there was no showing from control decks in the top 8, and the closest thing was Esper Hero, piloted by 40-card Ben Freeman, who did take first place in the event. He beat out Michael Briers with his Gruul mid-range deck, then with Simic Nexus and Boros Feather taking 3rd and 4th place, that left Izzet Phoenix, Bant mid-range, Bant Ramp, and Mono Red trailing in 5th through 8th place. Surprisingly, the Bant Ramp deck that uses mass manipulation and Nissa Who Shakes the World has been doing very well in the last few tournaments, coming in 2nd place in the Fandom Legends tournament, beat out by none other than YouTuber and pro Magic player Jim Davis, who did record the entire event. You can find footage of his games on his channel. There is a link in the description box for that. In other tournament-based news, it is the start of Week 5 in the MPL, where players will try to lock in those top seats of each division, which will secure them an automatic pass to Day 2 of Mythic Championship 3, which will be held later this month in Las Vegas. Pearl Division is currently being held by Brian Braun Doohan with an impressive 5-1 record thus far. He will be facing off against Hall of Famer Eric Frolicek this week, and the match looks to be a repeat of the Kansas City Finals, as BBD will be running Esper Hero and Efro will be rocking the Red, Green, or Gruul mid-range deck. Ruby Division is not so cut and dry. Ken Yukishiro will be the ultimate deciding factor here as he faces off against Slop. If Yukihiro wins, he should take Ruby Division. However, if he loses, this opens a doorway for world champion William Huey Jensen to take the division based on a few factors. If Yukihiro loses 0-2 to Slav and Jensen ends up with a 6-1 record, the tiebreakers will fall in Jensen's way and Jensen will take the seat. Sapphire Division is a little different but more of the same. Instead of needing to rely on someone else to win, Rey Soto will face off against Paulo Vitor Dama da Rosa, and if he wins a single game, he should take the seat based on tiebreakers alone. However, if PV can take him down 2-0, he will have the edge in tiebreakers and will take the seat for Sapphire. With what looks to be the simplest of divisions, Emerald might have the biggest flip in the end. Brad Nelson is the last player in the MPL with an undefeated record, and Brad sports his 6-0 record as he brings Esper midrange to the table versus Gregor Kowalski's Mono Red. With a victory here, Brad will lock in that top seat. However, if he loses, it will come down to the Seth Manfield versus Martin Yuza game, where if Manfield can win, Brad should still get the top seat. However, if he loses, Martin could change the tiebreakers enough to squeeze in. The TLDR on the meta is kind of as follows. Esper Hero is on the rise to become the top deck in the format, but Mono Red still hasn't been pushed out. While Wild Growth Walker decks and Super Friends decks are still the baseline to beat, Gruul Aggro is most likely to be our new contender in the meta. Control decks seem to be putting up the least numbers, and only time will tell if the Esper Hero deck does shift into full control. The official announcement of the London Mulligan rule has been made and will be the official rule with the release of Magic Core Set 2020 later this month. Players will draw 7 cards, then upon choosing to mulligan, the player would shuffle and redraw 7, putting 1 card from their hand on the bottom of their library for each time they mulligan. Giving a look at 7 cards each time will greatly improve deck consistency overall, which in turn should improve how all decks are played and reduce the amount of mana screwed games in Magic. Netflix made an announcement with only a single tweet saying, "Huge announcement time. Netflix and Wizards of the Coast are teaming up with Joe and Anthony Russo to make a Magic the Gathering anime series, and this teaser of Chandra has me asking questions." Why would you be asking questions? You're the one that put the teaser out. Either way, this should be a new anime that will be a creation of an all-new storyline that expands on the history, lore, and adventures of magic-wielding planeswalkers. Even though the teaser does show Chandra Nalaar, it is still uncertain if she will be the main character or just a member of a much broader list of characters. Finally, that brings us to the Protecting Children from Abusive Games Act, which is a bill being put forth by U.S. Senator Josh Hawley to regulate loot boxes and other microtransactions. The bill defines loot boxes as microtransactions offering random or partially randomized rewards to players, such as a pack of Magic or Hearthstone cards. The bill will also be targeting pay-to-win games where players that pay have benefits versus players that do not pay. Should the bill pass, enforcement of the bill will be regulated by the Federal Trade Commission, which would treat the distribution of such games by publishers and online distributors as an unfair trade practice. Additionally, state attorney generals would be empowered to file suit to defend the residents of their states. Even though this is not new news, as the bill is a few weeks old, it did pick up support from 2 Democratic senators this week, making it a bipartisan bill. Senator Ed Markey, a Democratic senator for Massachusetts, said today's digital entertainment ecosystem is an online gauntlet for children. Inherently manipulative game features that take advantage of kids and turn playtime into paytime should be out of bounds. The Entertainment Software Association, which set up the Entertainment Software Ratings Board 25 years ago, referenced numerous nations' findings that loot boxes aren't gambling, while arguing that parental controls should be enforced. In an interview earlier this week, Senator Hawley stated that he had been in contact with the ESA and Electronic Arts and implied that the discussions had been sharp, as FIFA would indeed be covered by the legislation. EA has certainly expressed their concern over the legislation, and this seems to be giving lawmakers some wind behind their sails, as Hawley made the statement, "I think that's probably a good indication that we're getting somewhere," in response to questions about EA's concern. The ESA did, however, make a statement regarding the bill. "This legislation is flawed and riddled with inaccuracies. It does not reflect how video games work, nor how our industry strives to deliver innovative and compelling entertainment experiences to our audiences." ESA goes on to say that it would be harmful to the player experience, not to mention the 220,000 Americans employed by the video game industry. They did encourage bill co-sponsors to work with them to raise awareness about parental controls and information in place that could keep the control of video game play in the hands of the parents rather than in the hands of the government. And that'll wrap up our news for this week. My name's Eric, and you've been watching M&N here on YouTube Gaming. Like and subscribe for more content. Stay awesome, and we'll see you next time.